Hey beautiful people, I'm your friend Kevin and this is your card of the day. And so really quickly before we get going, thank you to everybody who is on this channel listening to this message. Subscribers, new subscribers, you're all welcome here, and I am so grateful to be in a position to lift your day, to start you off on the right foot and keep you in the work that we do, the light work. This week I'm using Angel Wisdom Tarot deck by my good friend and teacher Radley Valentine with illustrations by Dan Craig. And I've also pulled the life experience card number 16 from his Angel Tarot deck. This card, Archangel Samuel's influence, will be with us all week long, really letting us know that what we have gone through, what we have been through, the journey that we're on is in our past. And nothing but bright, pleasant future is up ahead. The card reads in description, a significant life event coming, which we know, a powerful revelation that leads to change and a time to spread your wings. My isms today are, I am aligned with my mission and anchored in my purpose, and love is my compass needle. If you think of a compass needle and you think of it pointing to your true north or my true north is pointing straight at love. And I'm going to keep going with the allowing the best divine benevolent outcome to bless me in 2024. So it is thank you, thank you, thank you. Today is a number 7 day, and I promise to get to that in a few moments. It basically is saying we're on the right path, we're going in the right direction. The detours do happen, and when we're faced with a detour or we're faced with a blip or we're faced with something that was unexpected, it is time to get magical, get quiet, get clear and meditate. This card, or this day, number 7, works with the 7 of cups or the 7 of water, depending on what tarot system you're using. And I'm here shuffling away with the number 7 energy. Gertrude, you're so good at choosing how many times you shuffle. And she's she said, since you've already got going, she's going to leave it up to me. And she thinks, and I tend to agree, or at least Beatrice thinks, that Gertrude is a bit of a distraction when it comes to shuffling the cards because, whoop, there we go, here's 2 that popped out. Because they just do that, they flop. So we're just going to go with that. We're just going to go with these 2, which makes a 3-card reading. With this card kind of influencing these 2. So here we go. Well, we've got the King again and the Page. Ooh, and both water. Look at this. Well, I like this. I do like this because it feels as if the number 7 day and this somewhat new moon, we are kind of coming into the first quarter of this moon. So I'm being told that where we see our Page, our young influencer, sort of in this, not really quite sure whether it's up or down, back or forth, a little bit in the feeling of stuff. Being sensitive and open-hearted, but also feeling a little insecure, inexperienced. You may be getting some moody messages. You might be getting flack from other people's moods. You may yourself be a little moody. Know that these are new emotional experiences that may be coming up for a lot of you. Some of you might be guided toward an interest that you were not expecting to be guided toward. It could be that you hear something that leads you to feel something about a subject that you're really that you may have overlooked or perhaps been somewhat curious about, but not so much wanting to go into. This is also about accepting social invitations or events. And I believe we've got Haniel's influence here, encouraging us to trust our psychic abilities, trust our inner being, trust our inner messages, going with the flow of what is rather than what may not be. A number 7 day is talking about divine magic, talking about being clear, getting meditative, focusing, but also being wise in whatever you're analyzing, whatever you're looking at. I really love to use those 3 questions. What does my inner self or higher being want me to know about this situation? What does my higher self or inner being feel, or how does my higher self or inner being feel about this situation or this interest or what have you? And what does my higher self or inner being think about it or feel about it? If we go towards the higher self, the inner being, the ego sort of has this shut out. The ego is the safe space, the fearful space, the space that keeps us where we've been, that keeps us second guessing, that keeps the motor of worry going. When we ask our higher self and our inner being these questions, it's almost as if we are diverting away from the ego and asking a better part of who we are to give us wisdom, to give us choices. We're still in human form, so we're still able to choose the ego over, working with spirit. Now, in the middle, at the heart of things, because this is what we know, what's going on and what's happening, if these life changes of the tower is here, the king is looking out on the horizon, but he's incredibly safe. Even though the boat is sitting on water, the water's nicely anchored to the shore. So we really don't have a whole lot to worry about. This king of water represents being trustworthy, honorable, devoted, cautious, and it can represent a person, it can represent you, it can also represent the Father God and the Mother Earth. It is talking about landing with a situation, person that you completely trust, a situation that feels safe, and this also talks about being secure and solid in romantic relationships and choices. I want to ask you, you may be bringing up some hidden but well-intentioned emotions. You may have chosen to follow a pathway or get involved in a charitable organization or even be a benefactor to a charity or take advantage of someone who wants to help you. What I want you to see here with the King of Water is make sure, and this is what this king is saying, make sure that the actions that either you are placing your interests in or being the benefactor of, make sure that the root of it has trust and is well seeded and well seated, as opposed to coming out of panic or coming out of, oh yes, oh my goodness. In other words, don't overlook the intentions behind either the gift giving or the gift receiving or the idea of being philanthropic. There are a lot of things coming at a lot of people. So this is where aligning with your mission and being anchored in your purpose comes into play. Life experiences. Let me go over to this camera because I think I want to face. Life experiences come to all of us. I was writing yesterday about growth and expansion and talking about the quote I read. I don't know who said it. I did research it, but it's escaped my mind. Change is inevitable. And the other part of it is growth is optional. Some people say growth is intentional. I think they're both inevitable, truly, because I don't know that we cannot evolve, expand, move forward without the change happening that causes the growth to occur. Now, there is two things that come into play when change happens, and the growth is really inevitable. But the two things that come into play that I learned from the law of attraction, and that is something that I think most people now are pulling on the string of. We can resist it or we can allow it, right? There's another deeper layer of that. Resisting is the thought or idea that what we're about to experience or what is going on is not in alignment with how we are feeling or how we have been feeling. That's one. That's the resistance of it, the query of it, the misunderstanding of it. The allowing of it is an opening, an opportunity. So, the third piece of it that most people just don't even go to is the choice to change your mind once you get more of the facts. So, for example, for most of my early years, I didn't exactly resist change, but the only way I would allow the change is if I knew what the outcome was. Well, in my 40s and 50s, I didn't always know what the outcome was going to be, but I was always asked to make the change. And there was a conflict because folks like to dot I's and cross T's, sign contracts, and this is where manipulation comes in. So if you have the ability to go with the flow, allow in the change, but know that you've got the right and the wherewithal to change your mind once more information comes, that's where I believe our King of Water is bringing us in. We are all subject to making reactionary decisions about things. What I want to ask you is this. Are you anchored in your mission and going with your purpose? And is it aligning up with that? And is your compass needle pointed at love? Or are you seated in fear? Because if you're seated in fear, not very much is possible. If you're aimed at love, coming from love and surrounded by love, the entire world is at your feet. And this is where all of this comes together. This is where I feel what I do here every day, every morning for the highest good of me and everyone else. These messages, the more I do them, the more I bring them to you, and the more you give me these comments, it's sort of like, okay, I don't know where this is going to come from. And trust me, people, I don't rehearse any of this. This is all coming from somewhere, and it lands everywhere. And I choose these isms from a pile that I have tied up in a leather bundle like this. I just go through them. The first thing I do when I sit down is, what is our number today? Where are we going today? And I love the 7 because it lines up with heaven, and it lines up with the choices. I love 7. It's a choice card. It's a magical card. The 7 of Cups. In a lot of Radley's decks, there's 7 cups under the water, and each one of them's got the color of the chakra in it. And if you close your eyes, whatever the first color comes to your mind, whatever color you're drawn to inside that cup, that's what you're working with. That's magic. And then these cards just line up with it. So how interesting is it that we've got a 7-day the life experience, the Tower card, lines up with a number 7, and we pulled that 2-3 days ago. And then we've got the King of Water and the Page of Water. Do you see what I'm saying? Follow that wisdom, follow that truth, and follow, oh, I get to turn in the stream, I get to shift what I'm thinking and feeling, I get to allow it in, I get to grow from it. And this is where the changing of decisions come. Everything's temporary. Every day is temporary. It's here and it's gone. It's here and it's gone. It's here and it's gone. In this physical life. In the non-physical life, it's a continuum. But we're here in this physical life to expand and to make expansion. And many times the evolution of humanity, the evolution of the planets, the evolution of how they're all lining up is completely unknown. What I want you to get today is we, all of us, if you're listening to this, are on this leading edge of it. We're on the front edge of it. We've got the ability to be non-human and human, non-physical and physical, all at the same time. And we get to change the narrative based on how we're going to navigate forward. I think I'm making sense. Beatrice is saying yes, hell to the cheese. Gertrude is chomping on grapes. She's giving me a thumbs up. She's just loving this. I just love both of these energies. They just make complete sense to me. Hopefully they do to you too. All right, my friends. Have a great day. I love you, I love you, I love you. Keep liking, subscribing, sharing, donating, whatever you do. It all helps. Until tomorrow. Bye. Hey everybody, we hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe and share it with all your friends. Here's a QR code if you decide you'd like to get a private personal reading with me. I'm available most evenings and on the weekends. Just go over to the website, book in what session, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and then fill in the contact information and I'll be back in touch. And if you feel kind enough, here is a link to my donation button. Energy exchange of any amount is always gratefully received. Until next time, be well, be blessed, and thanks so much for watching. Bye.